I agree. There's definitely a big, big distraction happening here. Let me touch on something else. Remember when news broke out that Republican South Carolina Senator Jim DeMint was leaving his position in the Senate basically to become a lobbyist, okay? He said, you know what? I think I've had enough of this. I'm going to run the Conservative Heritage Foundation. Well, in South Carolina, the governor gets to appoint a replacement. In this particular case, that governor is Republican Nikki Haley. In this particular case, that replacement is Tim Scott. Now, who is Tim Scott? Tim Scott has served one term in the House of Representatives. He defeated the son of Strom Thurmond to win his spot in the House of Representatives, and he's gone on to earn praise from Sarah Palin, a bunch of prominent national conservatives, and Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee, who explained that God didn't stop the Newton shooter because schools took God out of the classroom. So what's unique about Scott, of course, is that he is one of the few African-American Republicans to hold elected office. We're used to this. We know that it exists, but it is rare.
Right. Alan West.
Exactly, and he is gone, fortunately.
Yeah, but this has more meaning. I mean, this is the first Republican, the first black senator from South Carolina since the 19th century.
That's right.
So that is a pretty significant thing right off the bat.
There are.
Well, I don't want to call it significant because he didn't win that seat. He's being appointed.
Well, that's true, too. Nobody elected him to that seat.
Well, that's the only way that he could get there.
Okay, so he was one of two black House members in the 112th Congress beginning in January. He will serve as, Republicans rather. He will serve as one of as the only African American in the Senate starting in January. Now, here's the thing. We have to say that the Republican Party, we know about the diversity problems, right? Now, here's the issue. The party does do a pretty good job of elevating the few minorities that do find themselves in its tent, right? So we had Alan West. He became the hero of the Republican Party. All of a sudden, people talking about him as potential president or vice president. There's no question the Republican Party does move the few minorities that are on their side up.
Rubio, Jindal.
The problem is these individuals are not going to solve the minority problem faced by the Republicans, right? Which is minority voters just aren't interested in right-wing policy. In fact, Tim Scott is a huge representation of the problem, maybe even more so than any of those others. I mean, let's listen to some of the policies, right? Tim Scott proposed a bill to kick families off of food stamps if one of their members, one family member, went on strike as part of a union. Can you imagine anything more counterproductive for lower income individuals and certainly many minorities? You can't think of anything more damaging to them. And this is what he proposed.
Yeah, completely insane.
He called for the impeachment of President Obama over the debt ceiling. It's an almost completely meaningless proposal. It's just partisan nonsense. So Tim Scott is a very, very good example of how African Americans can thrive in the Republican Party. They have to be able to happily go in, prepared to just take in those standard Republican policies that hurt people in the minority groups they themselves are a part of. Right, Natan? That's the way to do well as a minority in the Republican Party.
Right. I mean, as far as the Republicans go, as long as they think that they have an image problem and not a policy problem, they're going to keep decreasing in popularity nationally, even if in these deep South states they remain popular.
No question.